The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am is fine with me. But I'm exactly
Fabulous.
what I was meant to be. I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Welcome to our show. Tonight is Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Okay, so the first thing I got to put a disclaimer in. It's that once a year thing where I lose my voice, but I have enough to do the show. Thank God. All right, so usually it happens during the summertime, going from the AC out to the warmth, and I'm working so much, and I'm very grateful for it, but it does sometimes wreak havoc on my voice. So, all right, so we are coming to you live from New York City. We're coming to you through Armed Radio, armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global. We want to thank Jim Bell. He's our producer and engineer, and he is manning the ship from New Hampshire. So thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate you. You can catch us if you're streaming that. You can also catch us live on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, as well as the What's the Story with Maria page, and our YouTube channel. So Leo always is great about making sure it gets on all those platforms. Now, this will be archived again on our pages as well as YouTube, and it goes into podcasts in about usually 6 to 12 hours. Jimmy takes care of that. And then you can listen to it on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So let me see who we got coming in here. So let's check with our people. Edie Gershman, our friend from Chicago. Hi, Edie. We got a very special show tonight. Don't go anywhere. Mandar Chick Magnet has joined us.
Chick Magnet.
Yes, he is. Ike Avelli. Hi, Ike. How are you, my love? Ike Avelli doing great things out there in the world. And Alana Diaz. How are you doing, my love? Alana filled in at Brandy's this Friday, and she crushed it. She was great. It was great to work with you, Alana. Again, we used to work together in Jersey City. Okay.
But I think her name is Alana. No.
That's how she's incognito, Leo. She's incognito. Okay, let's quickly talk about our merchandise, Leo. First of all, I gotta say, oh my God, Leo is wearing his Proud shirt, and there's a good reason for that.
Yep,
And
I'm proud to be
look what I'm wearing, Leo. My Rainbow Music shirt. Yes, we are very celebratory tonight.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so what do you got there, Leo?
I got your piece de resistance that you were holding up.
Yes, talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead, keep eating What's the Story with Maria apron.
How much is that, baby?
This is $25 Roonies, and it's very durable.
It certainly is.
Handles. I cook a lot with mine.
And the color doesn't fade. The color doesn't fade.
No, it doesn't. It's been washed like 4 or 5 times.
I know. And also we have our tote bags.
Mm-hmm.
So hold it up. You talk about it, Leo.
That's our Maria tote bag. It's very durable. On the back it says, go ahead, keep eating. And in New York, I believe that you're getting charged now for paper bags as well.
35 cents a bag.
Oh my goodness. So this is definitely a saver at $10 because you can use it all the time. And I use mine. I use one for groceries. I use the other one as my Maria in the show. Maria show in a bag.
Yep.
If I can take it with me anywhere. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, well, you should be drinking some tea, Maria.
Oh,
What are
I
you drinking,
am. I'm
Nikki?
drinking Throat Coat. Here it is. And this baby is $10.
Now, I have the Leo baton because mine's a prototype.
Here's the prototype, so you got the special red. But
But
if
Maria,
anybody
hold up.
orders them from me, you will get just the white, but it's very nice. You won't get my lipstick stain. That's all mine.
Nope. You
Okay.
got Maria's mug on a mug.
Yes. Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's check. Oh my God, Lynn Portis, genius, has joined us. My musical sidekick for 31 years. 31 years, Lynn has been my friend and my musical director, and she's a genius. Catherine Salvio, hi, my friend. That's our buddy Leo. She was
Oh, there we go.
She was your musical duet partner.
I have so many songs coming into my mind with Lynn and Catherine, and
I know.
there's just music all over.
Lori Towers is with us. Lori Towers is an amazing radio show host herself, and she also produces a wonderful jazz show for her husband John Pinatoro. I'm sorry, and Lori is a wonderful publicist. So she does amazing things and a fitness guru. So
Wow.
she's one of those multitasking, amazing people.
John Pietaro says,
Oh,
without
there he
the
is.
love-
There he is. Hi, John. John and Lori came to Brandy's a couple of Thursdays ago, and they were so sweet. But they also got all my jokes, so that's why I like them too. You know, all those inside jokes, that we have. So it was so fun. Great people. All right, so we have a bunch of our friends have checked in. Good. So here's what I want to tell you about. A couple months ago, Lynn and I talk. We talk a couple times a week, at least, sometimes a couple times a day. And Lynn was telling me about this amazing woman that she met, Lori, and how Lori was talking about this other amazing woman that she knew that had written this beautiful book. Her name's Alexis Hunter. And when she started telling me the story, I was not only fascinated, but I was moved. I was emotionally connected to it immediately. And I didn't just think where lots of times, oh, Jerry Mastrolia has joined us. Thank you, Jerry. I know you're going to love the show. That's why I texted you. Jerry is a big fan of old Hollywood and
Goffy asked if Brenda Vaccaro was here.
you know what? That's what Leo's been calling me, Brenda Vaccaro.
That's a sexy voice.
And I did meet her, and she's lovely, and still sexy. She's still so sexy. Anyway, okay, so Lynn was telling me the story, and I was really moved by it. And then I met Lori, and Lori brought me the book, and the name of the book is Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For. And it's written by Alexis Hunter, a love story, it says, by Alexis Hunter. And when Lori and I were talking, we yes, it's a love story. It's a beautiful love story, but it's a lot of other things as well. So there's a lot of amazing things in this book that are gonna make a big difference in the world. And I was talking to Alexis the other day, and she said even if this book helps one person, it was worth writing. And so we'll get more into that when we bring Alexis on. So I'm not going to wait much longer. I just want to tell you guys to stay in. Don't go anywhere tonight. This is going to be an amazing show. If you do have to run out, of course we're going to archive it, come back and watch it. But Leo, is she waiting in the wings?
We have Miss Alexis Hunter waiting. I hope she didn't hit all the champagne in our green room.
No, please, please.
She is right wonderfully here.
Yay!
Yay.
There she is, and she just told me. Hi, Alexis. First of all, hello, sweetheart. I'm so flattered and happy you're here because I know you're busy, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. Now, you told me that painting behind you is yours.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I paint, I make jewelry, I do all sorts of stuff.
Wonderful. Because this show, and I think we talked about this, is about the creative life. So I celebrate creative people and the reality of what that means, the day-to-day. And so one of the questions I want to ask you before we get into anything else about is why now? I mean, the events in this book happened a long time ago.
Yeah, they did. But the timing, I think, is better. The timing is right. I think more people are more open to listening and learning about a same-sex relationship. The world is better, a little bit better now. Not perfect, but better. And that's why I think the timing is good.
So much better. You and I had the most wonderful conversation the other day. Probably lasted over an hour, and we really agree so much. So much on these. My cousin Rena has joined us. I'm going to be seeing people, Alexis, and I'm going to just shout them out because they're our regulars and they're wonderful, and they're going to love the book. So again, for the new people that just popped on, Jerry, I don't know if you saw this. The name of the book is Joi Lansing. She was a beautiful, beautiful movie star, TV star, and just amazing person. And the book was written by Alexis Hunter, who was her love, and it was a different time, and we'll talk about that. And finally, she can write the book, and I'm just really enjoying it. But it's sad, and it's beautiful, and it's painful, and I won't use the word hopeful yet, because I think the hope is in that you've written it. The hope is, it is hopeful because you wrote the story and now you're able to tell it. But there's so much struggle in it, and it's secret. And I identify with that on such a high level, Alexis. So I personally want to thank you for writing it.
Oh, thanks so much, Maria. Thank you.
I really do. So I'm going to I don't want to guide you too much. I want you to tell us what we need to know. It's a beautiful story about your relationship. You met when you were very young. She was older, and there was a lot happening in Hollywood. She was already established and famous, and you were up and coming.
Yeah, I got a fun gig I was a Bigfoot monster on a Stinko film called Bigfoot. She was the star, and I was a monkey. And it was fun. It was really fun.
And you got to be good friends very quickly.
Yeah, we did. Oh, she was so sweet. Here I am in this monkey suit, in makeup, and this woman walks in. I had no idea. I'd always had a crush on Joi. When I was a kid, I used to rush home to watch her on the Beverly Hillbillies, and it was so cool. And I got the gig, and I thought, okay, I'm going to be a superstar. This is my big break. And I'm sitting there, and they're putting this god-awful outfit on me and doing. It was such a cheapo film. They were spray painting my hands and my face with black stuff and gluing on fake hair on my face and fake teeth. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, what am I into? And in walks Joi. And I thought I was going to friggin' die.
I'm going to stop you right there, because anyone who's anyone is out there has had that celebrity crush all their lives. And imagine meeting your celebrity crush and being in the same makeup room with them, and then you're in a monkey suit. I mean, it's in a monkey suit. But I love the part where she just treated you so nicely from the get-go.
She was so sweet, Maria, so sweet. She was just like anybody else. She was not pretentious, and we just hit it off. Just bullshitting. And it was wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. Sweet, sweet woman.
And there's a lot in the book. I don't want to give too much away because I want people to get it, and I want them. So there's a lot of younger people out there. I mean, that are like, well, who's Joi Lansing? I don't know who that is, but now you've struck my curiosity. This is how beautiful is this woman, and I remember her, Joi. After we talked, I went back and I was like, oh my God, I had all this memory from my childhood. Because I was at I think when you folks started your relationship, it was 1969, and I was about I think 10 years younger than you were at the time. And so, but I was watching from a different angle, television, but I remember her. And so you said to me on the phone that she was the Marilyn Monroe of television at that time.
Yes. Yeah, she did a lot more television than she did films, but everyone remembers her from TV because at that time, and some of your younger viewers will not imagine that there were only 3 stations. There were ABC, NBC, and CBS, and that was it.
Amazing.
And, yeah, it was fabulous. And Joi was on all the time, on all the sitcoms, all the dramas, and she did over 100 TV shows.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. But she did regular films, A films, and some B films. And she did, you have it on the screen right now, Scopatones, which were the first music videos. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know that. I'm learning. And this is so fascinating because most of the people that check into the show they're creative people. So they're actors, they're writers. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a whole new following for Joi. This is also why it's so beautiful that you've done this. People are going to go back and look at. So these were the first music videos. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had this machine that they had in bars and restaurants, and people, I don't know what it cost, I think maybe a quarter or 50 cents, and you could see your favorite singer singing tunes. And if anybody could go to YouTube and see Scopatone or Joi's name, the campiest one of all, and it's so campy, it's really bad. It's so bad, it's great. It's the one The Web of Love.
The Web of Love.
The creepy guy is all over, just staring at her. It's very, very funny.
I love it. It's going to be a whole new cult following, I'm telling you.
I hope so.
I guarantee you, I'm saying it today on this show. I'm saying it today. It's going to happen. It's happening as we speak. I guarantee you that there are people that are watching the show right now that are already Googling Joi and the book. Now, you talked about her singing. She was also a great singer. And the two of you toured the country. How cool is this? Amazing.
Yes, Joi, right?
Yeah.
I love that. She was, honey, and let me tell you, you think she's beautiful there? It's nothing compared to the way she was in person. She was absolutely magnificent.
I can only imagine. Now, the two of you.
But her heart.
See, you don't always hear that.
Trapped. I'm trapped.
I love it.
Trapped in the web of love.
I love it.
That is great. And look at that.
Doctor,
And that guy is
stirred a brew for me.
I love it.
He is disgusting.
Sips from your sweet lips, and now I
Oh
can't
my God.
get free.
But you know what that says? I'll tell you who that appeals to. The average guy.
I love it.
The average guy that says, hey, I could have a beautiful woman like that. I'm telling you, that's who commercials were geared to back then, or anything like that. That was your audience. Yeah. Now, you toured, you and Joi went across the country, and she was doing different cabaret shows, right? Yeah. So talk about that and what that was like.
Yeah, she did some theater in the round on the island. The show she did was burlesque.
Okay.
And she did it with Mickey Hargitay. And I don't know if you got to that part of the book. I babysat for Mariska.
I couldn't believe that. Isn't that incredible?
Is that the best? Not for very long, just for a few minutes. But, that's my claim to fame. There you go.
That's amazing. Now, this brings me to the next place. Your name is Alex Hunter, but you changed. You became someone else in that time because you were traveling together. It was not a time when women were romantic or spent or even stayed in the same rooms. It would have been suspect, right? No. So you changed your name. Tell us about that.
And so, Joi Bishop came up with the name Rachel Lansing. So I became Joi's baby sister, and it was perfect. Everybody bought it because we were both blonde, both had the same color eyes, and it was just really cool. People believed it.
Yep, and I love that.
Did you just say Joi Bishop?
Joi Bishop.
Uh-huh.
So I know. So I want to show you this because I love this picture in the book. You see, they're together here, and they do. I could see where people would think you were sisters. I can see
we were
it.
able to pull it off.
So that's Alex. Alex is the taller one. You see? So I
And
can
that's
see it.
yeah.
So Joey Bishop, he came up with the idea.
Yeah, she brought me to meet him. She was just loving the whole idea about having a girlfriend. She just thought that was the berries because she'd been married 3 times, and and she dated Sinatra. She dated a whole bunch of guys, and she got tired of it and just connected. It was absolutely wonderful, and she was thrilled to be with me and took me to meet him. And I think she whispered something into his ear about the fact that maybe we were more than just pals. And he said, "Well, you don't look like that. You look like a Rachel. So your name is Rachel." So I became Rachel Lansing from that point on. It was really cool.
Fascinating. Fascinating. And you know what I love about it, what it says about you, is you really were in the moment, and you took a gigantic leap, and you just went with it. And
Oh my God, yeah.
You didn't question it.
No.
You just
Can
did
you
it because
imagine?
no.
Can you imagine nothing?
I think yes
This
and
is
no.
great.
No, because it's a lot for a person to ask a person to do. But yes, because if you are in love with someone and they are that important to you and you have to do that in order to have a relationship, yes. So that I love that.
I would have done anything. I would have done anything, Maria. I was so in love with that woman. My God, I still am. So
I love that. That was you were just literally. I didn't write any questions down. I just like to like I said to you on the phone the other day. I like to just let the show go and see where it takes us because we're just having a conversation. That was my next question, because I said to myself, you must. The love affair did not end when Joy died.
no,
It was in a different plane, and now that you've written this book, it still continues in the most beautiful way. That's what I was going to ask you. Is she still the love of your life?
she's absolutely the love of my life. It's only been 50 years. My God, I was a baby. I was 21 when I met her, and I fell madly, passionately in love with her. And it dies. People who say, I've lost someone or whatever, it never changes. If you truly love someone, and she was my soulmate. She was everything, and I adored her.
And she adored you. She adored you, and you were so important in her life. You were her confidant. She could truly be herself with you. That is a gift.
Yeah.
That's a gift for a person. Now, I want to talk about, this is the sad part, so I don't want to get, I almost did want to avoid it, but we can't avoid it. It's important. So there was a lot that happened with, obviously she passed away. And will you tell the story of how that came to be and the dangers of that kind of, those procedures that they did back then, so women could maintain that kind of a figure?
Yeah, Joy was under so much pressure to be the most. She was competing against Monroe, Minnie Van Doren, Jane Mansfield. She was one of the sex symbols at that time, and there was so much pressure on her to be the most beautiful, the sexiest. You're not allowed to age, and you're not allowed to not be absolute perfection. So unfortunately, I don't think they knew at the time. She actually went with Sinatra and had silicone. She had silicone injections in her breasts. And, her breast size prior to that was more than sufficient, but she became voluptuous. She was like double D. Quite large. And, but it was silicone. And silicone, I believe, contributed to her death.
And it wasn't.
She had.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the thing is, it was a combination of things. And as far as not being able to age in Hollywood, when I met her, she was 39. So that was like, a death sentence in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She was too old, and so. she felt the need to be more perfect, and so she had that. She had the silicone injections, and Sinatra had it in his face at the time. You remember how lumpy his face started?
Yeah, that was a really interesting part of the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
So, she had that done, and well, it was really funny. I saw this really trippy article about it, and there she is with dumbbells exercising, and they did this whole thing saying that the reason why her breast became so large is because of exercise, which is a bunch of hooey, but people believed it absolutely because they didn't know about the silicone. And another thing is because of the aging and being afraid to age, she went to a doctor, and I am not real fond of the doctor she went to. She said, I can't get old. What do I do? What can I do? And he said, well, and he gave her an open-ended prescription for estrogen, and she was in her 30s, Maria.
Wow. Wow, this is infuriating.
She was producing more than enough estrogen.
It's infuriating.
And
so sad.
Oh, it's infuriating. I'm livid. And the thing is, she was, and he didn't tell her, you only take it for so many days, and then you don't take it or whatever. She took it every single day. And the estrogen and the silicone and incompetence of the doctors that she saw, and she ended up with breast cancer and ovarian cancer. Wow. I don't know which started which, but that's what killed her.
From what you're saying with the estrogen, that the overload of the combination of the two, that's a death sentence. There's no way out.
It was a perfect storm, Maria, perfect storm. And I believe she had breast cancer or ovarian cancer before I met her because she was having problems with one of her breasts. We went to various doctors, and they didn't understand silicone. They didn't understand any of that stuff. And what
you said in the book, which I found really so disturbing, was that it wasn't just like the implants that they have now. It was these injections that went underneath your pectoral muscle.
Right, and in the breast tissue.
Wow.
And the thing is, in the book, it also tells about my experience, because when I was with her, we went to this doctor, I'll never forget this guy's name, Benito Risch. He was well known in New York, and we went to see him because one of her breasts had become hard, like a rock, and it was because of the silicone. And he didn't know what to do, and he started shooting her up with, I can't remember what it was, steroids, cortisone, and that was a part of the perfect storm, which killed her too. You can't mix all that stuff.
You know what it sounds like to me? Like they were literally experimenting on her. She could have been in a lab.
Right.
She was a human being, and they were it was like, oh, let's try this. What's this going to do? And what's that going to do? As if she, almost like, like she was a monster or something. It's like almost like a Frankenstein story. It's so disturbing on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I didn't understand, and I was so naive. I was 21. I didn't know better. And when we went to see this guy, he said, why don't you have a shot? And I thought, oh, well, what the hell, And Joi was obsessed with boobs. I figured, well, okay. And so I had one injection of silicone. One. I didn't become any larger. It did nothing except destroy my body. And I freaked out on, the first one wasn't bad, but the second one, I could feel the fascia tearing.
Wow.
It just freaked me out. And I realized that I would never have another. And Joi died in 1972. By 1976, I had to have a bilateral mastectomy.
Wow.
Because, I did.
Oh, I have chills.
Oh, yeah.
Awful,
well,
awful.
It's good. And that's part of the reason for writing the book, Maria.
Okay, let me take a minute. I'm going to show the book again because we have people that have come on. The name of the book is Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For. It is written by Alex Hunter. She's here with us. She was Joy's love, and she has written this amazing book. And as she said to me, if I could save one life because of this book, it's worth it. It's also a beautiful love letter to her significant other. And just so much, I can't tell you, this book, on every time I read a few more pages, it's another level. And I have more and more feelings about it. So there's going to be lots to discuss about this book, which I want to tell you guys that we have somebody waiting in the wings. I will let Alex finish her thought, because who's going to join us from the Stonewall Inn, the famous Stonewall Inn, because, folks, this is great news. Alex is coming to New York, and she is going to do a book signing at Stonewall on October 18th. It's a Monday night from 6 to 8, and then the party's going to continue. And so please, right now, whatever you're doing, put it in your book right now. I will remind you a million times, but write it down. This is going to be so powerful and amazing. You get to meet Alex. And now, Alex, someone asked me, do you have an audiobook as well?
Yes. It's a Kindle audiobook, hardcover and softcover.
Okay, great, because I love audiobooks
Yeah.
as well. So you had to have surgery as well.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
And that is one of my soapbox themes is I want to stop the use of silicone. They're still doing it, Maria, and it makes me crazy. Absolutely makes me crazy.
I know.
This obsession with having large butts.
Right. You talked about this the other day. This is really important. Please go on with this. This is so important.
Yeah. And some women and men are having silicone injections. It's illegal. They have pumping parties, and people are being injected with this stuff because it's cheap. There's no downtime, and it's not surgery. So people are doing it. And the thing is, silicone, because I've had 8 surgeries. I've had a few issues with this crap. And the thing is, silicone doesn't stay where you put it. It becomes little silicone cysts, and it becomes smaller and smaller as you go along. And if you're really unfortunate, it will go into your bloodstream, and people die.
Wow.
People die, people are maimed, it can become gangrenous. You can have open lacerations. It's so awful. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
I'm so glad that you're talking about this, because I know that this is happening. Not because I've read about it, because I know people that get it.
Yeah,
and,
it's awful.
And this is going to be an important night at the Stonewall Inn for these reasons as well. So, if it's okay with you, I'd love to bring on my very good friend Melissa.
I would love it.
You would love it. Missy, hi, sweetheart.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm great.
How are you?
This is Melissa Driscoll. She does many things. She's been my friend for a long, long time. We've worked together. But now she's doing a lot of the booking and managing at Stonewall. She's also an advocate. She's married to her beautiful wife. And we were talking about how different the world is now. So Melissa, how are you, honey? Thank you for doing the show.
I'm good. I'm so good. So I'm actually at the Stonewall. There's a piano bar tonight, as you do Mondays. Can you hear me okay? Because
we can hear you.
I came downstairs. The office was occupied. So we're just in the back room at Stonewall. There's a lot of pictures from 1969. So lots of feedback here. I'm so excited to host you in October, and I'm just so thrilled to meet you today online.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. This is a real treat. I am so excited. I can't stand it.
Now, Melissa, you have that poster behind you from 1969 that is of the very first riot. I mean, Pride, the day after the riot, the Pride, it says, read the words there, Melissa. Read what it says. Fight.
It says, Stonewall means fight back, smash gay oppression.
Okay. 1969 was the year you met Joy, right, Alex?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Momentous.
So that's why I also think this is a perfect match. And Melissa, you've been married now how many years?
We got married in April of 2015 at City Hall, and then we had our party, which Kurt Kelly, the owner, technically gave us away because my dad couldn't come. So we did everything upstairs here at the Stonewall and had a huge party and celebrated,
and you and
it was really fun.
You and I were talking the other day when we were talking about Alex's book, and how you were saying to your own wife, who's a little bit younger, how different the world was then and now.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, she was born. I was born in 1974. Yeah, and she was born in 1985, but in South Africa. So we have very different backgrounds. But yeah, I think New York, for me, New York would be the best place if you're going to be open and out, married, and then I can do all of my activism and things like that. But we do have a conversation about how different it was growing up.
Yeah, and that's why I think this book is so important. I'm going to hold it up again for our new viewers. Joi Lansing.
So beautiful.
Oh my God, isn't she gorgeous? And like now, I hope that our viewers will go back and look at the footage that you can just Google, and there's so much great footage. Alex, tell us about some of the shows that you were telling me about that she was on.
Oh my God, she was on I Love Lucy. She was on Maverick, Seahawk. Oh God, Sugarfoot. She had her own show called Klondike. But it was only, I think, 1 or 2 seasons, I'm not sure. But she was a star of that. She was on The Mothers-in-Law, which is more recent.
Right, that was color.
That was a great comedy. And one of the things that was my frustration is Lucy adored Joi, and Joi was a comedian. She was funny. She was her timing was perfect. And Lucy saw that and wanted to groom her and make her into a big star. But Joy's husband at the time was an idiot and said, "You're too good for this," and turned it down.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
But listen to what you just said. He turned it down.
Who turned it down?
You see, women couldn't even make their own decisions in businesses, in matters that affected their lives then.
Right.
So he was her manager, and he
was her manager. Unfortunately, she dated her managers, but they did not do well by her. They ruined her career. She could have done so much more.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons for the book, because I want everybody to know about Joi.
Yes.
She wanted to be a superstar, and hopefully by then people will know her and she'll become the person she wanted to be. That's what I want.
Absolutely. And we're very excited. Melissa and I are very excited about the Stonewall Inn.
Yes.
October 18th. It's a Monday night. Put it in your books. It's going to be an amazing night. It's going to be an amazing
night. We're going to have so much fun.
So Jerry Australia says he adored the mothers-in-law. So Jerry, do you remember seeing Joi in the mothers-in-law? Yeah. So he put Joi Lansing in a big heart.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
awesome.
Jerry's a young guy. He's a young guy, but he loves all that vintage stuff.
Cool. Joi was also Mrs. Superman.
She was.
Yeah. Well, she played a policewoman, Sergeant O'Hara, and for some reason or other, she had to be. They had a wedding ceremony, and she was Mrs. Superman. And they were going to have her as a regular on the show, but then George Reeves died. So
wow. Leo, thank you so much. I want everybody, everything that's popping up right now is because of Leo Rodriguez. He is our stage manager and just amazing tech person. And I would be lost without Leo. So Leo, I can't thank you enough. These are amazing. Every time we talk about something, Leo pulls up the image. This is great.
That's
thank
so
you.
Great. Yeah, those pictures are wonderful. Pictures of Joi with Superman. That's so cool.
So I'm sure that her career would have been very different had people known about you and she, right?
Oh, it would have been destroyed. This was 1969 when we met, and she died in 1972. If anyone had found out, first of all, it was still illegal.
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 Illegal. Remember that.
Yeah. I mean, when I first came out, I went to a real dive, a woman's bar in LA, and it was called the Mint. And it was no touch. You couldn't touch someone's hand. You couldn't put your arm on the shoulder. We're not talking sexual. We're talking just
romantic.
Anything, just touching their arm, whatever. If the police came in, they could take you away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. It was just awful.
Awful. And that's why this is so important. So important that young people our age, as well as younger people, older people, get this book, come to the book signing. Just, there's so much. You'll be doing a Q&A as well, right?
Absolutely. No questions are out of bounds. I love doing that.
Now, Lori, who is your friend and my friend now, also your publicist, said that that you go to high schools.
In fact, what was really cool is my book was in the curriculum of one of the local high schools. It was, oh my God. Oh, in fact, it was for the IB kids, the baccalaureate, the smartest, best kids. Yeah, they were seniors, so they were mature enough for the book.
Yeah.
And they had to read Crime and Punishment in my book. Do you believe that?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then they had to do term papers. They had to do term papers on each one. And at the end of the semester, I would read their term papers and comment and write to them. And then I would go and speak to them. And they would ask whatever they wanted to. And the thing that was so great is these kids were so open. And I wanted to, one of the things that I wanted to stop bullying. I don't want bullying. And people were so open. Kids were so open to our relationship. There were no snide comments or, nothing disgusting. They were lovely.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how far we've come? And it's because we keep fighting. Leo, did you want to say something? I know you.
I work in camps with kids, and over the past, 20 years, it's really changed. I'm in awe of some of these kids that call me Pappy that I've been around, and they're part of my life as adults now. And the ones that are out have just amazed me. And I sometimes, it's old school, and I go, wait, and I'm like, oh no, wait. It's different now. It's changed,
Yeah. In fact, one of the things that was so cool is a couple of the kids actually went to the teacher and said because of my book, they had the courage to come out.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that.
I love it too.
Listen, I used to seek out. Melissa, are you okay to stay, or do you have to go? Because I know you're working.
Yeah, no, I'm
okay.
I'm good, yeah.
I used to, as a teenager, go to Harvard Square because I grew up in Massachusetts, and I used to seek out bookstores that would have anything, a pamphlet, a book, and it was like literally I'm finding a needle in a haystack, and you couldn't even ask anyone. You couldn't ask someone, is there, you had to just hope that, and just go book to book and hope that something had a subject. And I don't mean like the, that trashy stuff they used to write, that men would write. I mean like an actual real book about relationships. And once in a blue moon, I would score and find something, and I would buy it. And you would hide it. You'd have to hide it.
Oh, sure.
And you wouldn't tell your friends about it. You wouldn't tell anybody about it. But there was something that you were like, oh my God, I remember I went to the library at school, and I asked the librarian, I was in Catholic school, I asked the nun what the word homosexual meant. And I thought she was going to faint.
Oh.
And she said, there's our dictionary, go and look it up. She couldn't even, and I think I was like in 5th grade or something. And when I went and looked it up, I had this sensation. I said, if it's in the dictionary, there's more than one person.
Absolutely.
And I felt so, I felt so, not free, because I didn't feel free yet, but I felt so happy, and I felt like I was on my way to, it's like a mystery, solving a mystery. Like, okay, it's not just me, so there are more. Now I have to find the more, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's why it's so beautiful that you talk to kids in school. And I love that they're different. Leo, I'm sure it was very different for you too.
Well, you and I both went to Catholic school, so
As did Alex. As did Alex.
Oh, yeah.
So did Maria, so did I.
No, so did Melissa.
St. Peter's. I was
Yeah.
called, it won't surprise you, but I was called the ringleader.
You were called the ringleader. I can see
I
that.
was leading all of their trouble.
Yes, me
Oh,
too.
wow.
But I would just look at it like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was the class clown. But Leo, okay, I have to stop for a minute because we have to do the food section of our show. Because Alex, we do a food section on the show because in order for me to interview creative people, I have to stay creative. So I challenge myself to cook every week. Now, I'm on the keto diet right now because I have to fit back into my pants. It's an emergency.
Yeah.
So what did I make this week staying on the keto diet? I made, I always make delicious things. So I made shrimp and scallops.
Ooh.
Yes, and I marinated them in Marsala wine just a little bit because it only has 3 grams of carbs, and garlic pesto, and I have shallots and red peppers that I've sauteed that in, and a few herbs and some lemon pepper. So that's that, and I'm just gonna eat it. No rice, no pasta. It's gonna be delicious.
Yum.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yummy.
I know, it's
Oh,
so
my
good.
God.
And then for my salad, you know, I love a good salad. I'm splurging and I'm having a burrata, which I love. Burrata is a mozzarella, but it's the cream of the mozzarella. It's amazing. So when you cut it open, it's like, it's cream. It's beautiful.
That's fabulous.
But you can have that on the keto. You can have it. So
I love it.
burrata with, these are called Campari tomatoes. They're a little bigger than grape tomatoes, smaller than vine ripe, but they're like mini vine ripe. They're off the hook. So that is with a little olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and just a dash of balsamic, salt and pepper. And these are, it's oregano. Okay, and for my dessert, because that's what I miss the most, Leo and I talk about this, but you can have melon on the keto diet.
Ooh.
So I have honeydew melon. So not so bad, right? We didn't
Honey do, not honey don't.
Now, Alex, one of the things that because I read an article on your book, a review of your book from I think 2016. It was a great article. I can't offhand remember the gentleman's name, but it was a wonderful review of your book. And he talked about the fact that even in the book you talked about that you both love to eat and you both dined.
Yeah, because we didn't go to big Hollywood parties. We had to be so discreet, and invariably we did once, and then invariably somebody hit on her or hit on me, and it made it very, very complicated. Yeah. So we stayed home most of the time, but we would always go out to eat.
Right.
You know, and that was our main excitement. That was our fun. And I discuss a lot of our meals.
I know that's what the book said, but it said that that he enjoyed it because it was an intimate part of your relationship.
Yeah.
And so what was your favorite thing to eat, and what was Joy's favorite thing to eat?
We both love salads, mostly. You know, we were big on salads.
Even back then, but that's probably why you stayed in shape, because there was a lot. Well, I guess you were both in the business, and you had to, but you love salads. I love salad too.
Yeah, salad's great.
Yeah, but as Italians, we always had a salad last, and it was a big part of the meal.
Yeah. We love to eat, and that was our main sport.
Yeah, well, that's you had, like you said, you had to stay in a certain place, and but you enjoyed each other's company, And now you also, I hate to go back to the sad part, but it's important. You took care of Joi at the end of her life.
I did.
And that was also difficult because they didn't necessarily want you there, right?
No, it was complicated. Joi was in a Catholic hospital. It was St. John's in Santa Monica. And she refused to go to the hospital unless I could stay with her. And so, luckily, because she was a celebrity, she had a suite in the hospital. And there was room for me to have a cot next to her bed. So I was in the cot. I had my little coffee pot next to me, plugged in. So I didn't have to go. I'm a coffee freak here. So I had my coffee and I stayed with her all the time. The nuns started to get, we were there, the last time we were there was for weeks and weeks. And because the chemo started to fail and she started to go downhill. And then one of the nuns, I think the head nun I was so freaked out watching her dying and hypersensitive. And the one nun came in and said, this is not healthy. This is not good. You need to leave. And I blew and I said, you're going to have to shoot me. You're going to have to kill me to have me leave. And I'm serious. They would have had to do something.
I believe it.
And so they just kind of backed off.
Yeah.
And she didn't last much longer than that. So.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. It's a terrible, sad story, but it's a beautiful love story. I'm so happy that you shared it with us.
Thank you.
I really am, and I'm not just saying that because you're on my show, because I don't have anyone on my show that doesn't move me in some way. And some nights the show is just goofy. We're just having fun, and it's a goof fest. But it always has to do with creativity. That's what my show is about, creativity. Melissa's been on it many, many times. Now, let me ask you about the creative process, because we have about maybe 4 minutes left. So, did you, how long did it take you to write the book? And go ahead.
Okay, it took me, I wrote every night from 8 o'clock at night till 4 in the morning. I did 10 pages. Okay. So the book originally was like 440 pages, and then, I had it edited down to like 390. But it took months, and then it took a long time to get it edited and ready to go, and then published. So it takes time.
Yeah, it takes a long time. And did you, in order to evoke these memories, did you use photographs? Did you use songs? Did you use footage?
Photos, and I also had, when you know you're going to lose someone, you clock everything. I had these tapes running in my head. I didn't want to lose one moment with her, so I had these tapes just running constantly. When I was awake, I dream about it. I also wrote. I had little notes, so that helped me. But a lot of it was just those tapes. And what was interesting is the minute I finished the book, the tapes stopped. I was able to go on with my life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was possessed, absolutely possessed. She was my world, my life, everything. And I didn't want to lose one moment with her. And luckily I didn't.
Wow.
And now it's in the book, so it's there forever.
Now it's in the book. And what do you think Joi would think of the book?
I think she would love it.
I'm sure she does.
There are sad parts, but we had a lot of fun too.
Of course you did.
Yeah. So I made sure that when I wrote the book, it wasn't just boom. It goes up and down. It's
well, like relationships do.
Yeah.
That's what they really are.
It is sad, but it's wonderfully happy. Because it was just a dream come true.
Yes, and thank you for sharing it with us. And we're going to put a lot of different emphasis. It's not just a love story. There's Breast Cancer Awareness Month is coming up.
Right.
So we'll spotlight it. And it's an important story for everybody. If you're not gay, it doesn't matter. You're going to love the book because it's a love story. If you're a fan of Hollywood, you're going to love the book because it talks about Hollywood. If you love television, you're going to love this book because it's it's the history of television and people that were in it. And if you are about female empowerment, and I hope that everyone is, you're going to love this book. I can't say enough about it. It's beautiful. Thank you for writing it. And we're going to share it with everybody. So again, mark it down. Mark down your calendars, October 18th, the Stonewall Inn upstairs. As you walk into the Stonewall, there's a back room, and then you go upstairs, and there's a beautiful, like little black, what would you call it, Missy? Like a black box kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little jewel.
Perfect.
So that's where we'll be.
It'll be perfect for it.
And we're going to talk about that as it comes up. I'll remind you, we may have reservations. We may have to do it that way. What I'm hoping to do is get tickets because that way we can know how many books for Alex to order, right?
Yeah, if somebody already has the book, I'd be happy to sign it for them.
Yeah, so I love this, thank you. So if you buy the book ahead of time, which I hope you do, bring the book with you and Alex will sign it. So you don't have to wait for the book signing. Get it now, read it, and then it's going to be even better. And then you come and she'll sign it for you. And if you want to buy other copies for your friends, she'll sign that as well.
Absolutely. And then I have questions for you. It's really great.
Okay, 1 second, because our show's coming to an end. I want to thank Jim Bell, who's our producer and engineer. Armed Radio, thank you so much. We appreciate them. I want to thank Leo Rodriguez. He is our stage manager, tech guru, and wonderful friend. We love him. Melissa Driscoll from Stonewall Inn. And my friend, thank you. And my new friend, Alex Hunter, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for sharing your life with us in a book form. And I hope that we are friends for a long time. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Who I am.